Hey, welcome back to Buck Junkies. We are, I don't even know what episode we're on. We're deep into the Buck Junkies 4th, 5th, 10th season. I don't know, but we one man down this week, but we got Mr. Steve Thomas filling in for Malcom, or AKA Opie, correct?
That's right.
So we'll probably get that wrong the entire hour, but man, how's everybody going? Everything good?
I mean, Malcom is probably living it up a little bit better this week than what we are, but
yeah, I mean, the Bahamas tend to be a little nicer than Mississippi, so
yeah.
So we don't come back sunburned.
I hope he does.
Yeah, I kind of hope he does.
Yeah.
Make him work for it, but
Yeah, frost on the ground this morning here, and then Malcom got his feet in the
beach.
nice and warm water. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you, the pools are cold right now down there. We went last year, and you'll freeze to death in those pools, but everything else is pretty dang nice. But no, we everybody have a good weekend.
I mean, I guess, I don't know, busy weekend.
Busy as crap.
Y'all done some cooking.
Yeah, went out to Shimpock Hill out there, Dark Corner, whatever you call it, Shimpock Hill.
The Hoggard Farm.
Hoggard Farms for their annual barbecue contest. Had a pretty good turnout. It was I wound up cooking with a couple of kids out there. I think they were about 12 or 13 years old. You know, and that's just what we do. We try to teach kids how to cook and teach them what we know as best we can. And anyways, they had a good time. They learned a lot, and they actually did pretty decent. They came in third in ribs.
That's good.
For their first time, and then doing 99% of it. I mean, some of the knife work I had to do.
And I look like
the
knife work done you.
Yeah, I sharpened knives before I went out there, so I was making sure they had good sharp knives before we went out there and stuff. And I was explaining to them how to cut ribs.
Don't do this.
And I just swatted my finger by accident. And I was like, well, don't do. And I put it in my other hand, and doggone if I didn't smack the other finger. I mean, it knocked a plug out of them. And anyway, I was like, well, that's a learning lesson there. Don't do that.
No, it was probably, I bet that wind was 15, 20 miles an hour. It was cold. It was real cold.
I don't know what the actual, temperature was out there, but it was, I think the wind chill was probably in I was saying the low 20s.
It was cold. I mean, like I say, if we was in a barn, which is open on two sides, but if they hadn't pulled the motorhome and everything out there, we'd have froze to death. They was trying to knock the wind back. But
I was highly impressed with John Wesley and Jack. They were on fire. They paid attention to everything I told them. They seasoned their own stuff. We did help them pull the back off the ribs. They trimmed the chicken. They trimmed the steak. We didn't do too much trimming on the ribs, and we'll get too far into that. Just let them roll what they had. And anyways, they did all the seasoning. They made all the sauces. Some things you had to show them because they were green and they just didn't know. But that was all right. Show them one time, let them do the rest. And
I tell you,
they did good.
John's boy, he done that little rib video. Of course, they got a YouTube channel. Was it Hoggard Brothers?
I think so. We want to get him on the podcast, and so kind of background. That's John's son. He's very, very quiet. Don't talk to nobody. Kind of keeps to himself, but gets on camera, and he's like
a different person.
Yeah, he's like a natural. He knows. Yeah, they say on camera. He talks. He's very, very, very comfortable, and he's wanting to get into. Like this year, he carried his buddies hunting, and he filmed all of them. And he's got. I think his talked to his mom. She said that they got him a GoPro camera, and they said he's not just like natural in front of camera.
I should have put a dummy camera up where he talked more to me.
Yeah, because
yes, sir. The whole time we was cooking, yes, sir, yes, sir.
No, he's a dang good kid, but it just comes natural to him.
No, any of y'all listening want to support a kid doing some good things, man, go to YouTube. I think it is Hoggard Brothers. I'm pretty sure Hoggard Brothers Hunt or something like that. But
look it up and see.
Look it up and check them out. I think. Heck, we may need to take some pointers from him. One of his best videos, how to chop a tree down with a hatchet. So, heck, we may need to get some pointers from him. But no, it was pretty nipply up in Nashville with me too.
Yeah, everybody been out of town. Mark was in Nashville to the Turkey Federation deal, and I'm not a diehard turkey hunter, so I really didn't have no desire to go. And then once I started seeing all the events and the tents and the vendors up there, I about wish I'd have went.
Well,
I know that was a lot of fun because there's stuff you're gonna see at those things that you're not gonna see nowhere else. You're gonna get to experience,
And it's not all 100% turkey related.
No.
I
mean, it's turkey strong, but it ain't. It's a ton of stuff.
Did y'all get to see somebody do a turkey call competition?
We went and sat in both the championships and watched all the finals rounds and the preliminaries.
What did you think about the ones that didn't use calls?
Pretty much, I ain't heard, no offense to nobody sitting in this room, but can't nobody in this, I don't know a soul that can call like them folks. Because it was, we got up there Thursday night. It was late, and we tried to get to the event or whatever pretty early Friday morning. I think we got there when the gates opened. And we were we were there early, and we were by no means at the front of the line, but we timed it just right. Like when they opened the gates, the crowd went through, and we walked right in. We already had our tickets and everything. We'd done that early, but we covered, I would say, about half on Friday, and we flat hustled. I mean, we didn't just blow by the booths, but like stuff that, that ain't, it might be somebody trying to hand out personal massages or something, but we passed those booths up and, went to the ones we wanted to see. And I mean, we was there 8 hours and barely made it halfway through. And I mean, that was no downtime, no sitting, that was covering ground. And we started off, the first thing we went to was the taxidermy contest. And I could go back and watch that all day. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be neat.
They already have them, they're
already mounted. They're just judging them.
You just walk by and look it all.
Right. And the first thing I saw that just blew me away was a guy done a backpack mount, like similar to what we have in there in the cabin, and except it was on a mannequin that was fully dressed. He had, I don't know what the platform, how big it was, but it, looked like he was standing in the field. He had a deer mounted on the back that was rolled up like the hide was tanned. It had 2 coyotes mounted, that tan hides hanging over, full backpack, had snow all over him. The guy was sitting there looking through binoculars, and it was all a mannequin.
I mean, very, very realistic, just pictures.
And I mean, it was awesome. And I think he won like most creative or something like that. But
so it wasn't just turkey mounts.
No. They had
mount anything, or is it like they have categories on that?
I don't know how if they broke it up like whitetail, turkey. In the contest, which I got video footage of it, we're gonna try to get a video put together of all that. But it was mainly whitetail and mainly turkey, and there was a few other stuff hidden throughout. But there was a couple full body mount deers that they were pretty slick, and then they had one of the turkeys. I can't remember. I had to look back at my pictures. One of the turkeys was like in middle of gobbling, and I don't know how they done it, but you could see the breath of the turkey on the mount. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they had outside that turkey to where you can see it, but it was pretty neat. They had the Osceola turkey. I had no idea they were that crazy looking. I mean,
that's what won was
that was
turkey.
Yeah, I think it was the best mount or something like that. Like he had it sitting up on like a vine and had a little platform it was on, and I mean, the colors on it were unreal. The head of the turkey looked like a darn alien. I ain't never seen nothing like it. So
I just want, if I'd had to go to Seek One, that's the guys I was wanting to see if I went.
We didn't make it to his booth on Friday. We made it to it Saturday, and I guess we got pretty dang lucky because we walked up, I bought 2 hats, and she handed me that deer skull.
So that was Kimbo's, what they called that deer. That was the one he killed. That was pretty much in the homeless camp. Yeah. And it scored 217, I think, what it scored.
And it's a huge deer, but it wasn't what I thought. Like, it was huge, don't get me wrong, it was a big deer, but it was the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life and held, and I was floored. I said, man, I just need to get a picture of that. She reached behind the counter, grabbed the skull, and handed it to me, and I was like, and I didn't see another soul hold that deer the whole time we were there. They handed it to me and Jody, and I don't know why or what they picked us, but, we held it. I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's big, but as far as the main frame, it was no bigger than that big deer that got killed.
It wasn't that wide. Mm-mm. It wasn't that wide.
But it just had some junk
heavy.
on it.
Yeah, it's real heavy.
But what I noticed on that deer is that skull on that deer was twice the size of any skull we have a skull mount of. I mean, the skull itself, the physical bone structure of the head of the deer.
Yeah, I forgot what they said that deer aged. It was like.
Where did you kill that one in?
I don't really know.
Ohio, I do believe, but it was kind of in the project/homeless area.
She said that because I
want to say, if I remember right, that deer it was well over 6 years old. It might have been 8. What they said it aged at, but it was old.
They're waiting to get the results back for sure because he said it had no bottom teeth, none. Said it had a couple molars at the back, and I think they like, I guess I don't know if they took a top molar out or what they done, but she said that they're waiting to get the biologist to get with them.
It's going to be 8 or 10 years old, probably.
Every bit of it.
But that's absolutely crazy.
I'm definitely going back. There's no questions about that. It's so much stuff in the industry that people don't realize is out there. And like the Montana Knife Company, like we talk to them guys, and like I'll spend some money on a knife. Like I'm not scared. Like I got a couple of brisket knives that are $300 or $400. Like I don't mind spending money on a knife. And it's just skinning knives, and it's as sharp. I mean, I've never seen a knife that sharp out of the box. And they had some cool stuff. And then we got to go pick up Rachel's alligator.
I've seen that.
That's pretty neat. Talk to all them guys.
What's she gonna do with the hide on her? Are they just gonna put it up, or are they gonna?
No, she's got a list. She's already got somebody to send it to. She's got a list, and she's already got I guess the person that does all the stuff, like for purses and belts and wallets. And I was thinking alligator hide. I mean, you think tough as nails, and I mean it's the softest leather. A cow ain't got leather that soft. And we got to go pick it up. That's the first time she's seen it. And we talked to them guys at God's Country, and that's another trip that
So God's Country is a alligator.
They do turkey, alligator, hog.
Based out of Florida.
Out of Florida. And it's to talk to them about deer hunting versus the deer they have down there. I mean, like a 140-pound deer down there is like a 200-pound deer here. Like, it's crazy. But super good guys. We got to talk to them and hang out with them for a good while. And we've seen a ton of people, and it was neat to see that side of the industry, because you catch a lot of them guys, like you see them on TV and you see them on YouTube, but they're in their hunt mode, or it's a completely different side of them in public. They're the same person, but they're just laid back talking. Oh,
did you get by the Mossy Oak tent?
Shoot, I tried to. I went by there and spoke to Vandy, and that was it. Like you could hang up getting in that tent, but their tent is. Like y'all were talking about the booth number 107, it wasn't no trouble to find their booth. I mean, it's about the size of Kroger or Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good size. But I got to speak to your guy at Primo's, Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah, he was sitting out front. We talked to him for a minute, and it was a good time. It was a lot of stuff to see for sure. Ate good.
I've got, when we used to watch those guys on TV, I used to think they were 6'6", these big old monstrous men and stuff like that. They're not very tall.
No, he was sitting down, but I don't think he was real tall.
That was like Godwin when I met him the first time, at the Ducks Unlimited thing up here in Memphis. I thought Godwin was a monstrous guy. And, he's a stout guy. And I'm not making fun of nobody, but I mean, on TV, everybody looks way bigger than they really are. And Godwin was, I don't know, he's probably 5'5", 6", something like that.
But it's crazy to see. I had no idea. I mean, I knew it was a big show. But, I mean, it was, I would say, 2 or 3 times bigger than the Ducks Unlimited show was that we used to go to, and it's all inside.
And it's not just show up and walk in, is it? You pretty much got to get
your ticket. You can get your ticket at the gate, but you're going to be there hours trying to get in. We bought ours online, and I think you get a 1-year membership to the NWTF or something like that, part of your ticket. But
what are the tickets run?
$35 a piece if you buy them online.
If you buy them, does that get you in there for 2-3 days?
That gets you in there for the weekend. You're good to go. They put a wristband on you. You go into the little registration. They give you a wristband. They scan your little code on your phone, and you're good to go. But I'd like to know how far we walked. Because
somebody put a picture on Facebook. They was in traffic for 2.5 hours, and he said, and they wasn't nowhere near even getting to.
Oh no, there was people walking miles, like down the road from the place, and which we got lucky. We were there early both days, and
it was in the Opryland Hotel.
I had no idea that banquet hall was that big.
That's a crowded place anyway.
I bet I had anxiety, panic attack off of that many people.
It wasn't too bad. Friday after lunch, it got to the point to where me and Opie were talking earlier, like when you had to cross the aisle, just think of you trying to swim the Mississippi River.
Yeah. Because
you're going to think you're going to shoot across, and you're going to be 5 boots down before you actually get across it, But I'll definitely go back, and I think now that I've been there and kind of see it, I tried to get as much content as we could and videos and wanted to talk to people, but it's physically
not
impossible.
Easy to do.
No, you can't up there. And, I didn't realize they had, media passes. I wish I would have done that. Or something where you can get in there before the gates open.
Go by an opportunity to come in early. Yeah.
Because,
there's no way you can get content with that many thousands of people in front of you. Because, it was the same way when we went to that squirrel thing. You couldn't.
I didn't want to mess up anybody else's day. I didn't want to be that guy that's standing in an aisle with the phone in his hand. I was trying to be respectful to everybody and not block the aisle or interrupt anybody else's conversation. But we made some very, very good connections that I think is going to pay off here in the near future. So you meet a lot of people, and that was one of the biggest things I wanted to do is, things that we are interested in, and make sure to, at least speak to them and let them know who we are and what our goal is and what we're trying to do. And we actually got acknowledged a few times. I had a few people walk us, "Hey, you're a Buck Junkie."
Really?
They must have been lost or something. I don't know what they thought.
Put all them hats in there?
Yeah, we moved some hats. Some stickers, and that's another thing is Jody's boy, John Lawson, he's a sticker fanatic. And what it boiled down to is the first year he went, I forgot who it was. One of the guys that do the big deep sea fishing videos, I can't remember what it is. They gave him a sticker. Well, ever since then, he's obsessed with stickers. So every booth, we had to make sure to get stickers for him. And he sent a video the other night. He's out, it was probably 200 stickers. And he's out there organizing them, putting them in piles and keeping the stickers in order. But definitely going back for sure.
Did you buy any turkey calls while you was up here?
I did not. I bought a bunch of trapping stuff. So I bought a case of dog-proof traps, and then I can't remember the guy's name, and I should. He's a big trapper on YouTube. Talked to him, super nice. He gave us a ton of pointers and, stuff to do, and I bought his little bait kit.
Yeah.
And wanted to get one of his – he had a bunch of hides up there, and he had a skunk hide. And it didn't smell, but looking at it and touching it, you thought you could smell it. In your mind, you said that's supposed to stink, but it's a ton of stuff.
Surprised when they tan those hides out, what they feel like. I mean, even the nastiest animal you can imagine, like a possum.
He had
it's so soft, and it changes it.
He had a couple beaver pelts. They were super soft, but he had a couple of coyotes that were from up north, and man, they were like goose down.
I don't think they're as nasty as coyotes.
No, he was fluffy. I mean, it was. I got the idea though, because I want to trap a coon, and we're gonna do a soft mount for sure. I want it to be like a pillow, just
head and all.
Yeah, head and all.
You gonna put it on your couch at home?
I don't know if that'll fly at my house. It probably won't. I doubt it.
What did Emily go with you?
Yeah.
What she think about it?
She enjoyed it. She was tired of hearing turkey calls.
That's what I was going to say. She probably want to hear another freaking turkey call for the rest
because I'm telling you, them guys. Which I mean, it was again. You're talking about. I don't know how many physical booths was. I want to say vendor numbers were up in the 3,000s. Like your booth spot was like 3,100 or something. I mean, it was a lot. And you'd walk by, and them old men on them old slate calls, they'd reach out to an aisle and get to hitting on it, trying to call you in the booth. And Emily was she was tired of hearing that. And of course, Jody bought him a mouth call, so he called all the way home.
Oh, heck yeah!
He was I don't think Emily wants to hear a turkey for any time.
I think every woman or wife dislikes the duck hunter and turkey hunter during pre-game show before the season gets here.
That's what I always try to do in the truck. Especially with the mouth call, in the truck, on the way to work, turn everything off and just practice on the way to work or going back home. Slate call and a box call, you can't really do that, but, you go outside and do it because Melissa gets tired of hearing that crap.
Mama used to when Daddy would do it. They'd be like, no, I'd even get tired of it. You're trying to watch TV or whatever, and that's all you hear.
That's something I think everybody in this room would thoroughly enjoy is the calling championship for sure. Because it's way more serious than I thought it was going to be.
Them guys get into it,
man.
They
do everything. They
get into
on.
Their whole body. They try to look like a turkey. They're out there strutting and everything.
But I realized it's just like competition barbecue.
Yeah.
If you go out there on that stage and the announcer says, all right, give us whatever, Jake's fighting, this is one of the calling scenarios you have to do. The guy that's won it 3 years in a row, he went out there, he done his normal spiel, nothing extra, done what the thing said do, and he's off the stage. And Jody's like, well, he didn't do as much as these guys. I mean, some of the guys put on a show, and they sounded awesome, but
it's more, too much.
It's so much stuff. You're just adding stuff for them to score you down on.
Yeah.
If you go out there and do the bare minimum, what you're supposed to do, nail it perfectly, what are they going to score you down on? And the guy that's won it 3 years in a row, that's what he done. I mean, he didn't do nothing crazy. He got out there and done what he was supposed to do, and that was it. And there was one guy that got up there, and they do it like they give you three scenarios. You got to do all three. And like first one would be like, the fly down cackle or whatever they do, and then it'd be like hens in the evening, and then Jake's fighting or whatever. And the one guy, he got up there and he was doing a lot, but he sounded awesome. I mean, I don't know how they judge it because they're all dang good, and I guess he was doing kind of a longer spiel, and the announcer didn't realize it, and the announcer interrupted him, and I know that cost that boy several spots. I mean, and he was pretty tore up about it. We seen him when we were walking out, and he wasn't upset, but he was venting, you know.
Yeah. You know, the thing about those competitions is, you know, and I've heard Phil Robertson say this is the same way with the turkey competitions. That is not how you call turkeys when you're in the woods. It's pretty much you respond to whatever that bird's doing and try to, you know, entice him in. And sometimes doing not much is way better than doing too much.
I thought it was pretty neat. Them guys I don't know how they do it. It would sound like two different turkeys, two different calls at the exact same time with one mouth call. And I'm like, how the heck do you do that much at the same time? But Jody's right, though. You get out there in that crowd and sit down, and when they start, just close your eyes. And you swear them down at hens right there. I mean, it's as realistic as it gets. But enough with that. What else y'all got?
So we finna bring on a guy. So y'all have heard me talk about Ark Butler Physically Challenged. And so I met Brent from down South Mississippi through Hope Outdoors. So me and Brad vested into it. And I got the privilege of meeting Mr. Steve Thomas, call him Opie. And we got him on today. He's going to kind of fill us in, tell us a little bit about Hope Outdoors. And I'm telling you, it changed my whole thought on hunting. And I can't explain how it works, but thank you for coming on, Mr. Opie. We're gonna call you Opie. I feel bad. I feel like I'm calling you Braun, but not calling you Steve.
Just don't call me Steven. I feel like I'm in trouble then.
So I know you get asked this all the time, so fill us in on the Opie. How did it come about?
First of all, my parents did not name me Opie. I pity anybody that did that. But I'm an Andy Griffith fanatic, dude. And so back in college, I had to get back after supper to watch Andy Griffith, and I had about 6 fraternity brothers walk in and say, "You look kind of like Opie." And so that's all it took. I hated it for the first year. I got nominated I went to Union University, got nominated class favorite like 4 years in a row, and nobody knew me by Steve Thomas that way. Because they didn't put Opie. Nobody voted for me because they didn't put Opie on it. But that's how they called me Opie for the first year. I hated it, but it finally grew on me, and I just had to accept it.
I mean, like I say, down in the Marion County hunt, that's the first time I met you, and everybody's like, Opie.
Nobody didn't know who Steve Thomas was.
Yeah, I don't think I heard Steve one time I was down there. It was all Opie. But
you know it's growing on you when your daddy starts calling you Opie in front of everybody.
Yeah.
It's stuck. At that point, it ain't no going back.
Done deal.
But no, I accept it, though. I accept it because now, like you said, nobody knows me by my real name. So I'm on church staff at Harrisburg Baptist Church in Tupelo. Everybody asks me, "What do you want to call it, Steve or Opie?" Well, there's another guy in our church named Opie, and I'm Opie number 2, and he's Opie number 1. So
is his physical name Opie?
Yeah,
on his birth certificate,
it's Opie Hurst.
He's legit. Yeah.
So I just but anyway, it's a catchy little name. People won't forget about it.
Yeah. So we all know here, but anybody listening, kind of tell them what is exactly Hope Outdoors? How did it come about? What's your role in it, I guess?
Yeah. Well, of course, it was back in, I guess, 2005 and 6. There was a group of people down in Chatham, Alabama that wanted to do outdoor ministry. And they wanted to share the love of Jesus, but they wanted to gear it towards people who are special needs. And we like saying special needs because sometimes you don't know, they may be handicapped. Sometimes kid might have lost a family member to cancer, and we'll take that kid. It's whatever. The directors are the ones that get to choose. They get to determine what special needs they want to deal with. And so we call it special needs. We kind of stay away from saying handicap.
Right.
But anyway, this group just wanted to do outdoor ministry, and that's the way it started. It started, the 1 year they took about 3 or 4 people, and one of the people they would take would be from Louisiana, and they said, well, we want to do what y'all do. And so they'd go start a chapter in Louisiana, and a group from Arkansas came in and brought a boy. So when I got involved, there was only 3 chapters of it, and that was in 2009. And the way that I got involved, of course, I've been in the ministry for 30-something years and doing a lot of youth ministry. Used to travel and lead worship, did that. The dumbest thing I ever did, probably the dumbest financial mistake I ever made. I bought into a hunting store in Waynesboro, Tennessee. Eagle Creek Outfitters, we called it. We loved it, about 3 of us. And then I learned you don't get to hunt when you have a hunting store. And when you do, you thinking about the hunting store. And that was back when the economy was kind of going down, and so we were struggling in a small town. But anyway, we guided turkey hunts, and we got into filming. And so we were doing that. And one of the guys is one of the founders of Hope Outdoors. He had an outfitting going on in Missouri and Iowa. Of course, he invited us up there to come hunt. And I went up there, and dude, I ended up killing about close to 170-inch deer. I loved the guy.
Yeah, best friend, yeah.
And so anyway, but when we got done, he said, hey, I want you to come down with me in January to Chatham, Alabama, and to our event, and bring your camera crew down there. And so we did. We done it. And, dude, I tell you right now, the first thing I fell in love with the first individual that I took or got to film. And so back then, I could all 3 chapters say, hey, come to my event. I could plan them. And then it finally started growing a little bit. Well, I got more involved. They started inviting me to board meetings. And even though I wasn't on the board, I'd still hang out with them. And then probably 2011, the guy that used to be over it just finally, he stepped away. And he said, I got to. And it was a God thing. And I couldn't believe it. They asked me to be the national director in 2011. And there were probably about 6 chapters then, maybe, when I got involved. I became the national director. And, man, it was just like God was doing stuff. And we started growing. And now we're up to, I think we're up to 21 or 22 chapters in 7 different states.
Yeah, because that's what Indiana, I know Indiana's far north as y'all go, I think.
Yeah. We just had a new chapter in southern Indiana. They're thriving. They're doing a good job there. And so we have 9 chapters in Mississippi. And got a new one here in this area.
Yeah, just this year.
Chapter, the Team Scooter chapter. And but anyway, so dude, I love it. I guess it's funny. My family thinks that every weekend I'm going hunting, and that's one of those things. I just wish people would go with me one weekend for my family, just see what I do. And my wife now knows what I do. My kids know what I do. They've got the experience. So, but I got people just think that's all you do is hunt. Go with me one time.
Well, I can honestly tell you. So me and Brad drove down. It's about a 5-hour drive for us. We drove down South Mississippi. I said, I want to do this. I want to learn how to do some video stuff. And it's so fast paced. I mean, we was there, I think around 1 o'clock, probably had like a hunters meeting, a safety meeting, whatever. And then 2 o'clock, you're on the way to stand or blind. I mean, it's full on in. And then that night, get back and eat good and start it all over.
Well, that group down there, they had 25 or 28 people, and they ended up only taking 23. Yeah, put people back out last minute because of sickness or whatever. So, yeah, they took 23. That's probably about 300 people involved with that.
Yeah, it was.
Because you're dealing with a lot of landowners that say, hey, come. And the funny thing down in Columbia is like everybody and their mama has enclosures down there. It's like every piece of property that you'd almost hunt, there'd be a fence around. And it wasn't because they were trying to grow crazy deer. It's just they'd get mad at their neighbor for shooting a spike. And they say, well, I'll fix you.
we fencing
800 acres of fence around my place. And so that's cool. The places I got to go in a place down there. The guy just bought the place. And, of course, when we got in there with that young man, Chase. Yeah. And first thing the guy says is, well, man, we ain't got no good deer in here anymore. The guys before them, when they sold it to them, they killed them all out. And I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm going to see some little scraggly 4-point walk up there, and we're going to be able to shoot it. And then the first buck that walked in was 150-inch. And I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting for the green light, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, is this guy going to let us shoot this one? Is it? And all of a sudden I hear that safety click, and they got a thumbs up from the guy, and he saw right quick. He wasn't going to let us kill a buck. He said, you're going to kill a doe. But after he saw what we were doing, he said, no.
Well, I saw that deer in person, and picture does not, I mean, it's nowhere give that deer justice. That was a very, very good deer.
And Chase was a nervous wreck. He looked at me, he said, man, if he had told me I couldn't have shot that deer, I'd have cried. And I said, but that's how, but anyway, the guy, he didn't have that many 200-inch deer in there anymore.
Just 150s is all.
We still, 150. But anyway, we had, so, you know, those guys like that, though, my whole thing is this: when they do something like that, I'm praying that God's going to bless them just for opening up that piece of property, bless the herd, whatever it may be. And but that gentleman is hooked with Hope Outdoors now because he saw what it meant to that.
Well, it's not like Hope Outdoors owns these properties. This is people that's kind enough to donate their property, their land, their farm.
Yep. So, when we do an event, you got, of course, you want a director that's over everything, and then you got volunteers. You're gonna have volunteers, and when our volunteers, they have to fill out a volunteer form. It's got that one thing that you got to make sure you don't have on your record. That's a felon.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that you can't be involved with Hope Outdoors. It just means you can't be around a gun anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you got your volunteers. We check them, and the landowners. What's beauty about it? When they give us their piece of property, they sign a form, and when they sign it, our insurance takes care of them. Mm-hmm. So when they allow us to use their place, they're covered. They don't have to worry about any liability stuff happening to them because our insurance is going to cover them. And that's the beauty of it. Of course, you got your landowners, you got your volunteers, and the volunteers don't have to be somebody that loves to hunt. They could be somebody that loves to cook and love to hug on people or smile at people, help people. That's the beauty of this ministry is, man, those 300 people that were involved, there were so many behind the scenes that was cooking and making sure everything was lined up and what rooms we were meeting in and all that. So it's a beautiful ministry.
Oh, and everybody thinks it's about going to kill something. Mm-hmm. Man, this guy's down there that killed deer, and this guy's, men and women that did not. And it's like a huge, big fellowship to them. They get just as much out of sitting at the kitchen and hanging out and talking to everybody as they do the actual hunt itself. I mean,
Dude, I've seen these events impact the volunteers and landowners a whole lot more than the actual hunters. Because I'll be honest with you, some of these hunters that are coming in, they got it going on. They know where their hope is. And so when they come in, you think you're going to bless them, they're going to turn around and bless them.
Yeah, it works the other way.
And I've seen more life-changing coming from the volunteers and the landowners than actually the participants. And there's no doubt we go to extreme for participants like that, or that group down there. They had a women's ministry that all the mamas that spend 48 hours a day, whatever, or how many hours in a day? 24?
48
48 down there.
I feel like 24 hours a day with their person. They're taking care of them all the time. They get to come and we get to say, hey, we're going to take care of them. You're going to relax. And so I think that weekend the ladies got together and made candles. So I'm sitting there, I was back there at the candle making table going, what in the world are they about to do? And they said, it's candle. I said, that's the coolest thing ever. But I've seen them take them out for, ladies out, go to the spas and do all this stuff, get their nails done, hair done, whatever. And so it's a beautiful ministry. And so we're trying to, so when an individual comes, we want them to bring their family. We're going to take care of the whole family. And if they don't go hunt, we're going to take care. They're going to take care of them back at the meeting place.
Yeah, because I guess some of the hunts actually on YouTube, it's not saying that the person that's with the disability, a lot of times somebody feel like they get all the attention in the family.
Right.
And some of these hunts, the brother, they're getting to do the same thing. And then like you're talking about with the family itself, getting a total, not saying it's a bad thing, but getting a break just from
the break. You wouldn't believe what
caretaking
do for you. And but it's
talking about the whole family. What is the most you've had in a blind at once? Because I know the videos Jamie showed me. I think it was 6 or 7 of y'all that went blind.
All right, one of our big sponsors, the Baronet Company. They make that beast blind,
and it is absolute beast.
What is the name?
It's big.
The beast.
It's big.
It's a one. Okay, typical blind is 90 by 90 that they sell. One of their big blinds. This one's 90 by 180. So it's 2 blinds to get. I can park a side by side under it, and we use that. So I've had up to 8 people. I never forget one snowy day on a trailer. We pulling in, had 4 people around the fire down here on a heater, and had 4 people down this around around a fire on this end, and it was just. I've had up to 8 people in that blind before. But it's really cool when you turkey hunting if you only got a couple, because you can walk down here and walk down this in the blind and look out, and then walk back down this in the blind and look out. So, but it's those blinds are lifesavers for us.
Me and Brad, like I said, I've been doing the Ark Butler deal for a couple of years. Brad, this is his first year, and we walked up that blind, and we're like, man, this thing is like ridiculous big. But we had Keith and a track chair. It was me, Brad, and the guide or the representative for the landowner, and heck, it was plenty of room.
Yeah, one of the problems we deal with a lot of times, every time somebody thinks I've got a big blind, and when you put a wheelchair in there, you find out how big your blind is.
Yeah, and then you got the participant or the hunter itself, and then a lot of them, their parents, their husband, wife, they're the caretaker, so they got to be there. And then you got a guide, and then the landowner, whoever. So you're pretty much 4 deep in a blind every time.
Especially when you deal with somebody that you got a wheelchair that weighs 400 pounds, and then you got somebody in the wheelchair probably going 200 plus. So you got a lot of weight there. So you got to have some extra volunteers to get that thing in that chair inside keep that person out of the vehicle, whatever it may be. Got to have help.
So, how far ahead do you have to start planning? I mean, you're lining up land, you're lining up like a central location to meet at, which is usually a church. You're lining up food for a couple hundred people a day.
This is not something you do like 2 weeks before.
No.
So I love it. We got a lot of chapters that have very good planning. They try to meet at least monthly or quarterly, whatever like that. But and when it gets down towards the main time when the hunt's going, then during that, like the month of that hunt, they start meeting every week, just getting all the details down. Because I think probably the biggest complaint from our directors and stuff is going to be the paperwork, because we're a 501c3.
Right.
We have to do everything by the T. So we got to, you got to make sure all those applicants, the waiver forms, when they come in, everybody has to sign those waiver forms. We got to get those applications. There's times people go, why do we have to do all this paperwork? Because we got insurance that takes care of us. And then so, the receipts, keeping the receipts, that's the biggest. That's tough for me. I have an app on my phone. When I take the picture of receipt, send it to her, and I send it to myself, my treasurer, so that and then later on she goes, I didn't get that receipt, because sometimes it gets lost in the junk mail or whatever on your. So I have to, I got it right here. I'll send it to you. But you want to complain about that, having to keep up with that. But let's be honest, Glenn and Karen Sansing, Glenn is my executive director. Karen's our treasurer and secretary. And this ministry is in their name. So if anything happens, they ain't going to come after the government. Ain't going to come after me. They're going to go after them. And so they have to make sure their accountant is telling them, this is what you've got to do. And so, but we do everything by the way that we're supposed to.
It's somebody that meets the criteria to come hunt. It's no expense to them other than if they put themselves up in a hotel room or something.
I will say a lot of times their drive over here, they may pay for it, but if they tell us in advance, now we don't really push saying, hey, I'm going to take care of we've flown people in before, but we will take care. If they say, I would love to come, but I have a problem with gas, we'll take care of your gas. We'll take care of all that. Yeah, once they get there, their lodging's going to be taken care of. If they need license, they're going to be their food. Everything's going to be taken care of. And that's the the biggest expense for us is probably your Mississippi. I don't know how it's going to happen now. It's been great with a commission that we've been dealing with. We'll just bring up all the dates if we do our hunts. They'll bring it before the board, and they'll okay us, and we usually get our license taken care of. We don't have to pay. State of Tennessee doesn't happen that way. That guy, when he brings 10 people in, each person is going to cost him $215. So that's all. There you go. There's your $2,000 that's going to
drop the bat.
Drop the bat. Got to be taken care of license. And so we, license and the lodging are the biggest thing. Food, they're going to be some group that will say, hey, I'll cook for you. And,
I'll tell you, if you go hungry, it's your fault.
Yeah, I know. That's it.
Me and Brad come back. We actually come back home with a couple of recipes from down there on some stuff that we ate.
Man, I have to do that. I do that intermittent fasting, and I got to keep it going during the hunting season, because my weekends are just shot.
See, Brad tries to do it, but he says I'm a bad influence on him. He said any win or weight he's gained is because of me. But
yeah, I mean, I can handle myself until you start putting coconut cake and pecan pie in front of me.
That adds up.
And I ain't just gonna get one piece. I promise you that. There's gonna be two every meal. But anyway, but yeah.
So and that's what a lot of people don't realize is these hunters. It's the one and only time they get out of the house, get to hunt, just because there's limited. And what's sad is insurance don't cover like a track chair.
No.
There's several people at these events that got to have a track chair, and insurance don't cover it. And that's what's
So we, hey, I'm not gonna say every hunter needs a track chair.
no,
but we're game planning. Can we get this person to the blind without a track chair, or this person is going to need a track chair to get to the blind? So, well, can a person, like for instance, Scooter couldn't use a track chair because he's had a head injury. He has to have a special chair for him. So, but the track chairs deals, I've got 3 that stays in my house. So if I go to a chapter and they say, hey, I'm going to need a couple extra track chairs, I'll bring them. A lot of our track chapters now are raising the finances to get track chairs. Now, you can get a refurbished one for about $8,500. Brand spanking new one's going to cost you $15,000.
I mean, I've seen them 25 and 30,000.
Yeah. So especially when you get those ones that rate. Now we don't. I encourage chapters when there's ones that raise up and you can stand up, but we have no use for that. Now, if you had a personal chair, if it's my personal chair, I'd say I'd want one that raises up. But we get just a typical. But a lot of the ones we get refurbished, we got a guy, our sales rep, man, he's always say, hey, he calls me, lets me know, I got a good one right here. I just refurbished. And so I'll send out the message to the chapters, and somebody will say in Missouri, hey, I need that one. And so we'll get it for them. But there's a chapter in central Missouri that that guy and his wife, they loved Hope Outdoors so much what it's doing. He sold his house, sold his farm, bought a fifth wheel camper and moved it on Truman Lake. And he and his wife started doing Hope Outdoors. Now, he was a plumber for the Kansas City school system, so he had Fridays off and the weekends off. That dude would take somebody from July all the way to the end of hunting season. Every weekend he's doing something, but he's got his team. Instead of having 25 participants show up, he would stagger them up, said, hey, I need my team A to take this kid crappie fishing. Next weekend, team B, will you take this kid catfishing? And the big thing that they do in Missouri up in that area is spoonbill snagging. If you ain't ever experienced spoonbill snagging, you've missed it. I can't. They look like a prehistoric fish. They're fish. Yeah. So these guys go nuts. They took 96 participants, and they caught the Friday morning. They caught 86, everything weighing from 20 to 80 pounds, and then the next morning they caught 82 or snagged 82. Those boys get into it. And, I mean, they got guys just saying, please let me carry somebody. They'll have 40 boats. And these are guys that love to do this. They do this for a living. And those people eat that up. Of course, me, when they're doing that, I'm sitting there listening to birds gobble on the bank. And I'm going, hey, during turkey season, can we come up here and you just drop me off right there? Because I get up there and you're hearing those birds gobble when I'm filming. And the spoonbill snagging is great, but I'd rather be chasing the tom than that.
That's something I talked to ladies over the Scooter chapter up here by us, and she's trying to get the turkey hunt thing going, and I don't know how you do it turkey hunting. I really don't. I'm not a diehard turkey hunter. I know I can get away with a lot more arrows deer hunting than I can turkey hunting, so I can't imagine how difficult it is.
I'm always laughing. You're dealing with turkey hunters too, and I used to be that guy that went to the NWTF all the time, and I remember the first time that I went to NWTF, I was that little banty rooster that walked in thinking I was something, boy. I thought I was. And then I saw people like Harold Knight and David Hale, Mike Watt, all those guys up there and going, you know what? I don't know much. I don't know Jack. I know 2 things about turkey hunting compared to these guys, and that's Jack and squat. These guys. And I call it the banty rooster syndrome. I was there thinking I was something with that chest, and all of a sudden I got deflated quick. Well, when you deal with turkey hunters, you deal with pride. And that's the number one thing that gets us all is pride. And so when you're dealing with turkey hunters, them old scoundrels like my father-in-law, he hates it when he sees those turkey tracks in your window because he knows that's a new turkey hunter. And those are the guys that used to hunt back in the 70s and 80s when nobody turkey hunted. It's driving them up the wall now that they can't get their public spot now because there's so many people there. And but the pride issue with turkey hunters, though, deer hunters down here, we got so many deer, but come kill a turkey. Hey, our deer. Can I come kill one of your turkeys? Nope, I ain't got none of those. And they lying through the teeth because they got a whole bunch of it. And it's just the way that dealing with those turkey hunters, man, they don't want to give up that one bird. And again, that's what I'm saying. If you do something like that, it's such a blessing. And dealing with turkey hunting, yep, I got to. I've been on Mossy Oaks pro staff for about 6 years, and of course they don't know me by jack squat because I'm just that little pro staffer in Mid-South gamekeepers region, whatever. They don't know who I am, but I got the opportunity to hunt with Hunting the Country. Rusty and Joe and Jody and all them came up to Missouri and filmed us taking a kid hunting with cerebral palsy. And we had to hunt from a blind. When I'm sitting there with Joe and Rusty, and they're sitting there going, this is the first time we've ever hunted in a blind for turkeys. I'm sitting there going, really? And they got to experience what we go through because that kid with cerebral palsy can only shoot that direction. Mm-hmm. And that bird would walk up 10 yards on your right side, and ain't nothing you can do about it until he got out in front of you where he could shoot it. And then he'd be 80 yards out in front of you. We dealt with that like 2 days in a row. And he finally said, I see what you go through because it's tougher. It is tougher. But thanks to the track chairs now, I'm telling you right now, I hate hunting blinds. I'll tell you that right now. I cannot stand. My kids now are 10. They're finally getting to the point, my twin daughters, I can get them out of a blind. I'm so excited about that point in our life because that's all I do is hunting blinds. But it's when those track chairs, those are mobile blinds. I got a rail I will put on that front of that thing, and we'll take off after a bird, and I'll throw a canopy over you on the front of it, and you're sitting behind that thing. It's like a mobile killing machine when you're behind that thing. They just put that gun on that rack and wait for that bird to come down that road or whatever. So with the track chairs, we can actually go after the birds, but then you deal with people like Scooter that can't go after them. And it's
and them wheelchairs do not like soft ground at all.
Nope. And so it's one of those things, man. It gets tougher, but when it happens, it's the most rewarding thing you'll ever experience, though. And this year gun season, deer season, gonna be my first year since 1989 not to kill a deer. And but I've got to see so many deer killed and filmed because of hope hunters. And turkey season, this past turkey season, I didn't kill the first bird. But I got to see 8 birds killed. And one of my friends, Jordan Blissett, used to be with Primos. He was Big Country, they called him. But yeah. Big Country, he's in my hunting club, and he always teasing me and my buddy. We were out there with these hunters, and the bird didn't work. He's, man, y'all, the guys, you ragging us because these special needs people ain't killing the bird like they do. I'm saying, you need to take the special needs and see how your season goes. Guys, I can start coveting easily when I'm looking at somebody's Facebook. No, you killed a bird today. God bless you. Yeah. Oh, I'm proud of you. And then I'm saying this, and I said, I ain't killed a bird this year in the back of my mind. But, man, I got to be with that kid up in Indiana that killed his first bird. And his uncle was a paraplegic. He called him in. I got to be with that. And I went from there to Missouri. And one of my friends named Russell Ginn works from Rolling Thunder Game Calls. He's a double amputee. I took him. We walked him like 300 yards through tough territory. I got to see a bird. Now, he missed, but I got to experience him going after a bird. So, the experience. I'm not killing my limit like I used to. And my harvest rate has gone down since I started doing Hope Outdoors, but the blessing part has gone.
Yeah, changed.
Yeah, I could only imagine. As hard as it is for a perfectly healthy human being to harvest a turkey versus go through all that.
Yep.
I mean, you're a completely different realm when it comes to difficulty, I think.
Yep. But you talking about blessing though. When it happens, I got to meet Dave Owens from Pinhoti Pirate Track. I know he was up in NWTF somewhere. He slipped in our club last year on opening day. Nobody told. Jordan was there hunting, and he's good friends with Dave. Dave showed up, and they went and killed a bird, and I got to meet him. Of course, Dave always smokes that cigar at the end of the thing, and I wasn't with him when they killed the bird, but we started doing our own little thing. So if y'all know of a beef stick company that would be a good sponsor. We start eating, and I'll show you a reel of Scooter when he killed his bird. You go to the guide, you go to me and we're all chomping on our beef sticks, just looking out in the blue. And then all of a sudden you get to Scooter and he's got a beef stick in his mouth with a big old smile. And then I go straight to the turkey. And so it was cool little videos we've been doing. So I've been trying to find me a beef stick sponsor. We eat beef sticks at the end of our hunts now.
You should have been. We done a beef stick deal down here the other day.
Jerky Showdown.
Yeah, Jerky Showdown.
You reach out to them, ask them. I ain't saying give me money. Just give me a pack of beef sticks that lasts me a whole year. Or turkey season at least. But
so on all this, like getting funding, how do y'all, or what's y'all's method on covering expenses to?
All right. Well, now there ain't no doubt we always looking for a national sponsor, and but what our chapters do, they raise their own finances. All right. So your first year of a chapter, your first year, or up to your first event, you get to raise 100% of what you raise towards your event. So any kind of banquet you do or any kind of fundraiser, 100% up to your first event. After that, it's a 70-30 split. And so the 30% goes to national. That helps you with your – you don't have to worry about insurance. If I come to your event and help out, you don't have to worry about my gas. You don't have to worry about my motel. I'll take care of it. Yep. I get paid a small. I'm probably I'll tell you right now. I'm only get paid $18,000 a year, and that's part time, I guess you can say. But that partial, that 30%, that's what it goes to. The 70% stays with your chapter. So everything that you do, if you do a banquet and you raise over $20,000, when you hit that $20,000 mark, then it goes to an 85-15%. We only get 15%. You get to keep 80%.
Right.
Because there's so many good organizations out there that do what we do. But when you do raise money, you get 10%. National gets the 90%.
Right. Yeah. Flip flop.
So we try our best. You raise so all the chapters basically for their events, they have to raise their money somehow. And but to me, that's what strengthens a chapter. Those chapters that are hanging out with each other all the time, they're doing fundraisers together. When they're having these meetings together, all this stuff is just something that builds you. When you do something together constantly, your team just builds. And that's why you see our stronger chapters are the ones that are doing fundraisers together, so many fundraisers together and doing meetings together and getting ready for these events. And when you have their event, there'll be 300-something people involved with it because they're on fire because they're constantly meeting. So fundraisings do more than just raise money. They build a team.
Yeah. Because it's like y'all's hunt was the first time I've been around these shooting devices. And it blew my mind what they cost. But so many hunters, that's their only method, I guess, of actually harvesting is having some type of shooting device. Not saying everybody's got them, but it is certain hunters that have to.
Oh, yeah. And that's something I'm fixing to go into of explaining a lot of my videos why we do. I don't know if you've watched the video. I got a kid we were at the Wiggins chapter, and it was my GoPro shot of him. And we use a scope, and I hate to say it, we get them on Amazon. They made in China. If it was American-made scope, a video thing, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But everything you get from Amazon is from China anyway. But so this little thing was like $150 to $180. You mount it on your scope. You can use it as a infrared. We don't recommend doing that. But they're literally after dark. I'm going, ooh, we can still see the feeder. We better cut this off because we try to do it the legally way. But anyway, this thing mounts on the scope. And it helps us. It's a screen that you can see exactly what your scope sees. And it helps us to guide the hunter. So this little dude had Down syndrome. And he is holding on. He had some issues, not only his Down syndrome, but just basically the gun scared him.
Yeah.
So he would reach out and pull the trigger. We would hold the gun down. His dad and another guy would hold the gun down. And we could all see what he was shooting at. He pulled that trigger and dropped that deer. And that video, it was the funniest thing because he's sitting there, they go, you got to buck down. He goes, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And his daddy goes, what'd you say? And when you see me in the background, I just lose it. I don't lose it because the kids said things like that pop out of people's mouth. I sometimes edit. That's the first time I've never edited something like that because I thought that was the best thing.
That's part of the moment.
That's a part of the moment. And it also gained us like 15,000 followers because of it. So I told my preacher not too long ago, if you just let a cuss word slip in your sermon, there'll be more people watching.
That's right. Yeah, show up for church. Yeah.
So, but anyway, of course, dealing with, as well as I do, man, some of these people on Facebook, they're looking for something to argue about.
Oh, we get it. We'll get one from this podcast.
Yeah.
If somebody negative about something.
Like I got negativity going on about the kid. That kid not aiming that gun. You don't know what the kid's problem is. How's he? That deer was probably tied up. And anyway, so I want to start doing videos of showing us how we do these little things, why we do the purpose of what we do right here. And because those devices that we use are phenomenal, what it helps us do. I got the device, Be Adaptive.
Yeah,
they're the ones that one of our sponsors. They have all kinds of devices.
Well, that's the first time I've been around it, and it's just, I mean, at Arcabutler, probably the most, I guess, disabled or challenged hunter we had was somebody that was 100% blind.
Yeah.
And just because they're blind or something's holding them back don't mean they don't have the same right to go out there and harvest a deer or hunt like we do. I mean, I'm all for it. And
we took a blind guy back in December. It's pretty neat how it worked out. The director works for the power company. He ripped down his internet with a bucket truck, so he had to go apologize to him. Saw the guy was blind and said, hey, have you ever deer hunted? He said, no, nobody will take me. He said, come on. So they took him. We got him out there, and he killed a yearling deer. Now, he shot this yearling deer at 80 yards, and he had that same screen, so we're sitting there looking at it. We're going, all right. Now, he's holding the gun to his shoulder, and we said, right there, pull the trigger. Killed his first deer. That dude, he's coming on a turkey hunt with us this year, and he was going, it just blew it. But the things that we can do, and that's one thing I want to really show people how we do it and why we do it, because there's a lot of people that don't get it.
Yeah, they don't. And I promise you, if you ever go, and I don't care if you're serving food, if you go and you don't leave with something wrong with you. Yes. I mean, that's me and Brad. We left them down there, and we're like, well, man, this is the end of deer season. What are we gonna do? We got to find something to do next weekend. But so no, I'm definitely excited about it, and I'm aiming on. I'm gonna hunt less of myself and hunt more on the Hope Outdoors next year. Is my 100% goal, but we're ready.
I think going back to what you're saying, people don't understand. Like a blind guy hunting, your average person's like, he ain't got no business hunting.
That's right.
Well, it's no different than, say, if you're diabetic. That means you still like sweets. I mean,
I sure do.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they still have that passion. Yeah. They can't physically do it on their own, but they can do it with assistance. And why keep that from that person? That's right. That's something that, if I went blind tomorrow, I'd still want to go, hunt a deer or whatever. I know it'd be hard for me to do it on my own, right. But it's
I would say majority of the men and women I've met, they had something in their livelihood put them in that condition, and they hunted before that or fished before that, and this, they still have that desire to do it.
And I'm gonna tell you, of course, I will never stray from this. We can talk about hunting all the time, but that's not our main purpose of what we do as Hope Outdoors. We have a lot of people that walk through those doors, especially our special needs hunters, that have lost what is my purpose in life now. And you're dealing with people that have traumatic accidents that say, do I still have a purpose? And but to be honest with you, we got landowners, we got volunteers that walk in there and have the same questions in their mind. Yeah. They ain't got a clue. And our purpose, I've learned this a long time ago by studying the Word, that our purpose is to glorify God. And that's what you were created to do. And I see some of these guys in these chairs that it would have taken them to be in that chair before they would have started living their life the way they were supposed to.
The Hope Outdoors is being used as a tool to get to that point.
It's the avenue. We call it the avenue of share. We use it as an avenue of just sharing the good news of what Jesus has done for me. And that's why I do what I do, is because of what he did for me. And but I want to give these people hope. I want to give them understand everybody has purpose, and that's purpose is to bring God glory. And the way we do that, just live our life for him, give our life to him. And accept him for who he is. And so that's the whole avenue of why we use this hunting and fishing stuff for. But because I couldn't imagine somebody, especially going through what they're doing now, not wanting to understand that they have purpose in life.
And I mean, we did do that. It was you brought it up in I believe it was you that brought it. You were Brent one in the meeting, and I went out with two different guys. Keith, the guy from Texarkana, I went out with him. We went to two different properties, 2 different days, 2 different guides, and both of them, when we got in the blind, he said, before we start hunting, we're going to pray.
Yeah.
And that's something the average, I mean, I'm guilty of, I don't go get up in the deer stand in the morning and
we take it for granted. I mean, that's me. I can take, man, the beautiful, the sunshine, the sunrise, and we you know, my favorite Bible verse is Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare His glory, and the skies His handiwork. The heavens are doing what they were created to do, and I always say that would be my wife's seeing God's glory through the sunrise. The way that I see God's glory is through a old Tom walking up the old road, strutting, doing everything he was created to do. But you know what? There ain't nothing glorious about what that Tom does. It just points me to a creator.
That's right. Yeah.
And but anyway, so I absolutely love it just because it gives me the opportunity. I've been a minister for 30 years. I've been doing outdoor ministry for about 20 years, I guess, because I consider myself, the first time I took 7 youth from my church deer hunting because they'd never been deer hunting, that's when outdoor ministry started for me. And the one thing that I saw right quick, I can have a good gospel conversation with people that never would step foot in a church. I saw that through my hunting store. Nobody would step foot in a church because they've had bad experiences or whatever. And God gave me the opportunity to use my hunting store to have those conversations with them. Well, the same thing goes with Hope Outdoors. I can take that old roughneck that loves to hunt, would love to help me take somebody hunting. And that's why I'm saying Hope Outdoors is so much more than just those people in the chairs, those volunteers that need to hear the same good news that those people in the chairs need to hear. And that's the beauty of the ministry.
Ready to go hunting now?
I'm ready.
That's right.
I'm ready
start it over.
Yep. We got 20 if we got a couple more days. It's going to be a good one. Today's my dad's birthday. He's 97 years old. And opening day of turkey season, I'm taking him hunting.
That's right.
And we're going to be in a track chair. We're going to probably go to a blind.
Bad as you hate to.
As bad as I hate to, but I'd give anything. I took him on his first turkey hunt in Wayne County, Tennessee when he was 77. That son gun going down them Wayne County hills. And he got hooked. Now he ain't the guy. He ain't the greatest caller. He'll take that box call and hit it every once in a while. But he's that guy that will sit in a blind from daylight to dark. And I filmed him one time, and I vowed I'd never film him again, just because.
You're gonna have a lot of batteries to film daylight to dark.
He got Daddy got the S word that comes out of his mouth a lot after he tells you he loves Jesus. But I said, Daddy, you can't say those words when I'm filming. And he shot that. We got out. By the time we sat there all day long, and I had to leave. And I got out. By the time I just hit the call one time, heard something cluck, looked up, and it was Jake's coming down the hill. Of course, Tennessee would kill Jake's. I said, Daddy, here come one. And I've already told my game warden friends this. They know this story, so he's not in trouble. But that turkey walked down there, and he pulled up. Man, I mean, that bird was behind a tree or something. I didn't have no shot. I go, boom! You hear me say, Daddy, wait. He's laying on top of the blind and shoots this bird and just kills it, drops it. I didn't get that kill shot. I saw it. I said, here comes another bird down there, and started going around the bird. And I said, oh, yeah, it's going to be a good film. Boom! He shot it. I looked at Daddy on the last thing on film. I said, Daddy, you shot too.
Yeah.
He said, he said, I didn't know if I was going to get to hunt next week. So that's the Daddy. At 97, I have to keep him from,
man.
I'm going to shoot that next one. Nope.
You put him and my daddy in the same blind, they might wipe the population out.
He was that guy. But anyway, so my mom passed away in August. And so Dad's was married 76 years. And so he'd been sitting in a room. Didn't get to go deer hunting with me one time, but that cold weather just knocks him out. I kept on showing pictures of turkey. He said, all right, you save me one of those. So we got
two.
Yeah. Well, good thing is it's open the day of season. You shoot one, give me the gun. I'm shooting the next one. But we got some chufa plots that the bird's just magnet to. And so I'm hoping it's going to be good. Dave Owens may be down there. I know Blissett's going to be hunting with us. He's trying to talk Dave and coming back down with us, but I don't think they want to deal with a 97-year-old man. So I want to run and gun.
That's right.
Slower with him.
Well, before we wrap it up, do you got anything people want to get in contact with you or get involved?
Angela Birmingham here's in the Northwest Mississippi.
Scooter chapter.
The team scooter chapter. Please she is gung ho about Hope Outdoors. We got a director's retreat this weekend, so we're getting everything ready. And she's ready for the banquet. Going to be May 6th at the
It's called the Red Barns here and outside. I guess be on the west side of Hernando. If I'm thinking
304 and Fog Road.
Yeah. We'll be there.
There'll be more advertising about it, but come support them. If you got land, they're going to need turkey land. So all you diehard turkey hunters, selfish.
They can go ahead and kill their turkey opening weekend, and this is second weekend of turkey season. I think when the hunt is it not? I think so.
Yeah.
So you done killed. Yeah.
When's the hunt? Is it April?
April the 6th,
I want to say, but
April 5th. It's just a one-day hunt. So I mean, you don't like giving up one bird, maybe.
Yeah, I think April.
Unless your daddy goes, you're going to give it two.
Yeah.
Well, I won't bring my daddy on that one for you.
That and everybody look at. I mean, Opie have done a real good job on YouTube. Got some pretty cool videos. You're gonna see some crazy hunts on there. Get on YouTube, check it out.
I'm trying
subscribe.
to grow that thing. So again, just if you can't get on there, Hope Outdoors YouTube. Share it. I wish that video that I did of that little boy saying that word would have been on YouTube, because I would have been making money now with YouTube with all the views. I got people from Iraq that's following Hope Outdoors. I don't know what their intentions are. I can't read a word of their posts.
Yeah.
Just don't click on any links. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
So before we wrap it up, we always talk about a little bit of cooking because that's kind of our background. So
I listen.
What is your favorite wild game recipe?
Oh, fried turkey. What do you think? Yeah, I have to go with my fried turkey. That's my father-in-law owned probably the best catfish and steak restaurant in North Mississippi. It was called Malone's Fish and Steakhouse in Tupelo. So anything fried, fish, turkey, and even steaks on the grill, my father-in-law is going to cook them, because there's something about his catfish. I can't explain it.
Is the restaurant still open?
Nah, it kind of went under in 2007. They finally went bankrupt, and he did a little catering and stuff. His wife got sick, passed away, and he had to take care of her. So
we get to Tupelo every now and then, but not a lot. But
that was the place that everybody knew about. And when I started dating my wife, like later part of the year, number one question, why did they close? And I said, well, I mean,
just economy and everything else. Yeah.
Yep, that was it. The economy would hit them.
Well, Mikey, you've been over kind of quiet. I'll let you take us out. And I know you got any stuff with Facebook or anything right now?
We got a new community page on Facebook. It's called Buck Junkies Outdoors. And if y'all want to go on there and check that out, the contest winners, we sent out all of their stuff the other day. Y'all go check out Hope Outdoors. They're on YouTube. They got a website.
Then we'll
should have some videos coming out on TikTok and YouTube here pretty quick. So y'all just stay in touch.
What's the wild game cook again? What's the date on it?
It's March 23rd here in
Senatobia.
Yep. And we'll be down there, so if any of y'all want to come down and hang out and shake hands, or you want to see what we're doing,
or send us some good recipes for wild game between now and then.
I heard you done a practice run this weekend.
I
did on a little something.
Try that.
Well, your buddy Jeff left me a very small potato, and it got cold, but it was good.
They were pretty good because they went pretty fast. Because
we don't want to give all the details on what it was, but it was pretty daggum good.
But anyways, that's all we got today, and we'll see y'all the next time.
We gone.